Welcome to the Humor in the Household podcast. I'm Alex, and every week we dig into the funniest, weirdest, and most relatable stories from people's lives. From toddlers flushing car keys to grandparents texting the dog, we read them all and try not to spit out our coffee. So grab a snack, take a seat, and prepare to laugh at other people's chaos. Welcome back to Humor in the Household podcast. Thank you, Pastor Gill. Thank you, Bethany, for being with us today. Let's start out the day with a good story here. This one's from Kelsey. It was the summer before my sophomore year of high school, and my family was on a trip to Niagara Falls. Classic family vacation vibes, scenic views, packed itinerary, and of course, some teenage moodiness. Now, my dad had his heart set on this little restaurant that overlooked the falls. Super scenic, totally picturesque. But me, I was laser focused on one thing, eating at the Hard Rock Cafe. Don't ask me why. I couldn't tell you. And honestly, I don't know why. Maybe it was just peak high school attitude. You know how it goes. Usually my parents are pretty accommodating, but this time my dad put his foot down and he was like, nope, we're not doing the scenic thing. So we end up going to the gorgeous restaurant. It's a beautiful day. Everyone's in a great mood except for me. I'm sitting here like a human storm cloud, arms crossed, not talking, just done with the day. The food comes out, and not even 5 minutes later, no joke, a bird flies by and poops directly on my dad's plate. I'm talking full-on precision strike. And that was it. My silent treatment cracked. We all just completely lost it, laughing so hard we could barely breathe. It was one of those perfect, ridiculous moments that somehow turns the whole day around. So I have a story about bird pooping. So I went to Ocean City, and we were on the boardwalk, and there's seagulls everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, you can't even grab, like, if you have an ice cream cone and you're walking, they'll just dive bomb
It's a donation.
and yeah,
they
just do it.
Mm.
So I had one that flew by me, and there was a lady in front of me, and a bird pooped.
Mhm.
She took my food. I had French fries. It was like Cajun fries.
Yeah.
She took my fry, and then it was just like, okay, I'm gonna deposit now, so that way I can eat my food right in front of me, right on there.
Empty the tank.
Yeah, empty the tank. But the seagulls down there are insane.
Yeah.
I've never seen seagulls that they're savage seagulls.
They're mean. Yeah, I mean, you see all these videos of these birds that some person is out on a date holding something, and the next thing it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've seen the reverse where people now grab a hold of them. They use the food as bait, and the seagull comes for it, and they grab the bird.
Really?
Oh, I wish we could do that in Africa. Never go hungry a day. Just saying.
I feel like as a teenager, Kelsey probably felt a little, what's the word, vindicated?
Oh, because the
That-
bird.
Like, oh, that's what you get for not letting me eat at the Hard Rock Cafe.
Probably. She was dead set that she wanted to go there, and her dad was like, "Nah, we're not doing it."
Well, that's what you get.
And then his food was
Bird
seasoned.
pooped on your
His
food.
was seasoned. Yeah. Yeah, I bet they all had a big laugh with that one.
After.
Yeah.
But anyway, he probably just scooped it out and kept going.
Oh,
That's gross.
That's
That
a
is-
good meal. You don't get rid of it. Anyway,
Well, maybe they gave him a free meal.
they could have. They could have switched
I bet they
it
did.
out.
probably.
That's only
Well-
the right thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, a crazy thing is I've heard there is some very expensive hotels that hire people with, what do they call them? The guys who train these birds of prey, falcons, and they train them. And so they hire these guys who come with them, and they release them every time they see these seagulls come by. They just release them to go after these birds.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. You should read up on that. I don't know if it's in Saudi Arabia or Dubai and 7-star hotels. And yeah, they hire these guys and they come to do that. Like his job is to walk around the whole restaurant and release this bird to just go grab these things.
So that way the guests don't have to worry about seagulls and
Never. Oh, you get entertainment of a bird catching a bird while you're eating a bird. Delicious. Mwah.
yeah, you can't beat that.
It's the truth.
Yeah. So this next story is from Kelly, and I had to research how to figure out how to say this, and I asked Gil and Bethany before, how do you say it?
Emetophobia.
Emetophobia. All right. I'll probably screw that up again if it says it another time. I've never read this. I have emetophobia, the fear of vomiting either myself or by being around others doing it. I realize it's not pleasant for anyone, but I have a fight or flight response to this, or even there's a perception of it happening. Like I will never go on a cruise, hate carnivals and rides that make people sick, flying because anxiety, but I never even think about crashing, even during turbulence, because all I can think about is someone might get sick and I just can't get away from it. Totally ridiculous, but I have been like this my whole life. Going out in public can be tricky, especially public bathrooms. I will hold out as long as I can unless I find a single person facility. But that's not always possible, and sometimes when you got to go, you got to go. I found myself in this situation several years ago when I was at a store and my husband and I were shopping, and I left him with a full cart of items and went in. It's a two-seater, which causes anxiety, but thankfully, I was the only person there. I get about my business trying to hurry before anyone else comes in when all of a sudden the door flies open and the fight or flight kicks in. My brain cells tell me the illogical reasoning that the only thing about to happen is the person will be sick. Not a number one and not even a number two, which would not faze me. But we go straight to the immediate vomiting. I am shaking, sweating, heart pounding, trying to finish as quick as I can when all of a sudden the woman moans loudly, confirming what my brain is telling me. I am desperate to get out of there. I need to leave. Danger screams in my brain. I'm feeling like I have to pass out. I throw open the door to the stall and come face to face with a total stranger who apparently walked in when the other woman walked in. And at the very same second, I realize that in my scrambling to get out of the bathroom, I had forgotten to pull up my pants. She looks down, I look down, and I say the first thing that pops in my head, fully aware what I look like, and I'm acting insane. Oops. Don't usually forget to pull up my pants. Then I slam the door in her face and get myself together. I have to exit. She knows I am done. I open the door and go out. She smirks and goes into the stall, and I'm washing my hands, and she yells out, mocking me, "Look, Ma, I'm naked." At this point, I am laughing so hard, realizing how crazy it all is. The woman in the other stall, she's fine. No vomiting. Apparently, she was just relieved to sit down and pee.
So there was no throw up.
No.
No.
No, she just hyped it up in her mind that this person is definitely puking beside me. I'm done.
I think what worries me more than anything else in this story is that she wasn't worried about the number one or the number two, which usually worries more people than anything. Because anyway, she was more worried about what was coming out of the mouth. That was more scary.
Apparently.
In the bathroom for her, that she had to run out I cannot imagine what was going through this other woman's mind. Like you walk into the bathroom, there's a person screaming in one stall, someone jumps out half naked in the other.
Well, can
The
you imagine
joys.
being the person in the stall that just sat down, was like, oh, all right. And then they hear somebody talking and saying, well, I don't usually walk out with my pants down. It's like, what is going on out there? I would be like,
I didn't even think of the
I'd
other
be like,
person.
okay, this is it. I am all right. I better hurry up and get the heck out of here. That's
this.
what it would be me.
Yeah.
I would 100%. I'd be like,
What
I
is
have
going
a question
on?
about these phobias. So this is a fear of someone throwing up, right?
Or even yourself.
Or even yourself
Yes.
throwing. You're afraid you will throw up.
Yes.
And if you see someone else throw up, you will throw up.
Yes, but also the fear, like even talking about it. Oh, if I even talk about it, then for sure I'm gonna I'm gonna get sick. Like
now, do they make themselves sick by thinking they're going to get sick?
no, it's like a psychosomatic.
Huh.
Like it's just like the fear, like you know how you're absolutely terrified of spiders, you don't even want to look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to know
Interesting.
if like anybody is sick, like anything, because then automatically like, oh, they're sick and I know them, so I'm automatically gonna get sick. And then like the fear of that and not wanting to like
Wow.
really eat much during that time, because if you eat, then that's what you're gonna throw up. Or
I have an idea.
consistently washing your hands,
I like this.
constantly eating with holding food in a napkin so that you aren't touching it and putting
Oh,
those
so they
germs
are
on,
like a germaphobe, right?
like completely, just to prevent yourself from throwing up, and doing absolutely everything you can to not throw up.
I'm just learning of this.
Mhm.
Like I've never heard of this extent. But that means if I want to get money from this person, all I do is write on a paper throwing up. And I'm like, give me your money or else. And then they'll give me all their money.
Just
I mean,
all you have to do,
threaten them.
all we have to do is have Bethany go
That
into a
seems
stall.
a little cruel.
Have Bethany go into a stall and have her mother not know that she's in a stall. And then her mother sits down and then she just brings a piece of paper. I just threw up. And see what Kelly does.
This would be fun. Now we know. Now we know. I mean, we all have fears, right? Do you have any fears? Any phobias?
He's
Spiders.
absolutely terrified of spiders.
So-
I kill all spiders at the house.
Spiders
I'm in
spiders are
charge.
huge. I hate spiders. Honestly, anything with a bunch of legs,
Yeah.
it's not happening.
So you don't eat octopus?
I have
He
had
has had an
okay.
octopus.
All right, let me
Okay.
So I went to Japan in 2009 and went on a missions trip. I was there for 2 weeks. And while I was there,
Uh-huh.
I tried a lot of things that I've never had before. So I've had octopus and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the scariest part of the whole thing is I was on a Zoom with my family, and they had a nice computer and everything set up. And so I'm talking and everything. And like, you know how you're looking and then at like your peripheral, you look down and you see something move and you're like, is that real?
No.
So I'm like, and I look down and it's the largest centipede I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's green, it's orange and blue. And it just crawls across the table right in front of me. And I just sit and I pause and I'm looking at it and it just walks right by. I have no idea where it went. I don't know where it came from. And I just like, I have to go. And I end it and I walked out. And I was like, that is the scariest thing. And I didn't think about it, but I slept on the floor the entire time that I was in Japan.
It probably crawled on you.
Yep. That dude walked all over your
100%.
face.
I know. I didn't think about that until after, like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like,
Yep.
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
out.
Yeah, I'm done.
Maybe he was like an appetizer, with salt and pepper all over him or something.
No.
You're supposed to like pick him up and get some crunch.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
Do you have any phobias?
Mine is heights.
Heights.
Yes.
Same with that.
What's
Same with
the
Alex.
fear of heights? What's the term?
I don't know what it's called.
Well, someone out there will tell us, but I have a fear of heights. I can go on a plane. Nothing wrong with that. And look through the window. and
Roller
see things like
coasters?
that. No, the only kind of roller coaster I've been on is we went to Disneyland.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they have this little thing that was it. I could never do anything. I couldn't bungee jump. I can't skydive.
No, I couldn't do that.
can you go on a roof?
He can't.
I thought you asked, can I go on a roof?
Yeah, can you, like, if you go on top of a roof,
No.
that height, how about a ladder?
Yes, I can go like 1, 2, 3 up a ladder. As long as I can still see the ground and whoever I'm next to, I can still see their head because I need someone to fall on. If I jump off the ladder, I could never climb a ladder all the way to the top. Yeah, I'm just one of those people. Heights, I lose everything in me. I start shaking. I can't stop it. I can't do heights.
So I hate it so much. My hands are sweating right now just
See?
talking about it.
See, right there.
It's the worst ever.
Yeah.
All right, let's get on to this next one here.
Uh-huh.
So this one is actually another one of mine. Yeah, I know, after thinking about all the crazy things that happens to me, it's just going to be pathetic. Every single time I have a ridiculous story. Anyway, so this one morning, I was getting ready for school. And I knew I had to get blood work done before I was heading in. Not my favorite thing in the world, especially because, well, I've always had a deep fear of needles, was another fear.
Hmm.
Anything involving blood being drawn? Mm-mm. Anyway, I finished getting ready and head to the hospital with my mom and my sister. We check in, take our seats in the waiting area, and soon enough, it's my turn. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I walk into the room and sit down in the chair. A nurse walks in, and she had this European accent. I couldn't really tell where it was from, but she definitely was not from here. And I remember that clearly. Without much small talk, she asks me to stretch out my arm. I do, expecting the usual, make a fist, whatever. Nope. She just goes in, takes the needle, stabs it right in my arm. Immediately, I knew something was wrong. She missed the vein completely and went and hit the nerve that was in my arm. And I can't even describe what it felt like. It felt like a metal rod. Like it was just a direct connection from here to the back of my brain. And it was painful, overwhelming. And as soon as she did that, I looked down, I'm like, ow. And she's gone. Never saw her again. Ever. The next thing I remember, I'm waking up, but not in my bed. At least that's what I thought. Turns out my head slumped on the arm of the blood work chair, and the rest of me was nearly on the floor. I had passed out. When I opened my eyes, there were six to eight people staring at me. Apparently, after the needle incident, I went out cold, and someone had hit a panic alarm. And so there was some alarm that had been triggered throughout the hospital. I don't even remember what it said. It might have said like code blue or so. I can't remember. So now there's a whole crew in the room, and I'm just thinking, why is everybody staring at me and not helping me up? Like I'm practically laying on the floor. Eventually, I sit myself back up, and the nurse starts asking me questions like, do you know where you are? And I'm like, the hospital, yes. And she asks my name. I'm like, Alex. And then bam, the same sharp pain happens again, and there I go down. Second time. I come to again. This time, almost completely on the ground. And it's the same group of people are standing there. Except for this time, my mother walks in. And she asks one of the nurses, why didn't you help him up? And the nurse replies, he's a little too large. We couldn't help him up.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah. Really? A whole bunch of people standing there, and I'm too large to pick up.
Yeah.
Eventually, they take me to the ER for observation, thinking I may have had a seizure. So I was there for about 4 or 5 hours.
After they stabbed your arm. It was just a seat. It was.
Yeah, they said, oh, he definitely.
Those seizures that come from.
Yeah, he definitely had a seizure. So pretty much that's the end of the story. But what really baffles me is like, it wasn't like I was humongous. Like.
So for you, what really hurt you more than anything, even more than the pain, was the comment that.
I feel like it was an attempt on my life. You had some European person stab me in the arm.
She was German.
Yeah, probably. I don't remember. And she just left. And then I all of a sudden pass out, wake up, and everyone's like from me to you looking at me.
Yeah.
And they're like,
what happened?
What? And I'm like, get me up. Like I'm practically dying on the floor. And you're all just like, oh, wow.
They have that thing that like goes across.
That's where my head was laying.
You were like,
my head was on that bar like this.
So you can't like lift yourself up.
And my arms were up like this.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I was just saying it's a plot twist. She wasn't an actual nurse. She was a patient.
It's very possible that could have happened.
Because you said you never saw her again.
I never did, ever.
She walked into a room and just.
She did. So I had my arm out like this, and she just goes.
There you go.
And I'm like, ow.
And she's gone.
And I look up, and she's not even there. I'm like.
So you want to know what's funny? He was telling my sister this story.
Yeah.
And she's like, I feel like I've seen her before. And they were like describing her to each other. And my sister goes, she was my nurse in the ER and she hit a nerve in my arm and I never saw her again either. And they said it was the same person. They described the way this person looked and everything. So they both had like the same experience and never saw this person again.
So is this phantom woman?
And they have never seen her at the hospital since.
Never.
I'm telling you.
It was the sketchiest thing.
Yep.
So
around the same time frame too. Maybe a few years difference.
I mean, she probably worked there for a few years,
Yeah.
but I of course, I hate my blood being taken. I hate
Yeah.
needles, anything. So I would never know, like, if she was continuing working there because I never went back.
Stabbed you.
I'm like, no. I have another spin-off on
Yeah.
that of another time.
Yeah.
So this was later on, and I was in high school, and I was getting a biopsy done to see if I was allergic to like celiac or gluten or whatever. So I can't remember who was with me. I think it was my father that was with me, and I was in Bangor, and she this lady comes in. Her name's Jane.
Yeah.
And so I'm laying there, and I'm gonna get put under. So they have to put the needle in me again. And so I was like, whoa, whoa. I said, I don't do needles. So I said, if you can please just give me gas or
Yeah.
anything, you
Yeah.
know, that'd be fine. She goes, don't worry about it. She goes, I'm one of the best at this.
Hmm.
And 99% of the time, I get it right.
Oh.
I was like, all right, well, that's good. I guess, you know, that's great. So I stick out my left arm, and she goes to put it in, you know, halfway between my wrist and my elbow.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know. She's like, oh, that's a good vein. So she sticks the needle in, and I was like, just sitting there. I don't look because I don't
Yeah.
like looking at it. And she goes, oh. And I'm like, what? And I look down. I had a massive bump on my arm. So she popped my vein.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I told you I don't do good with needles. So she goes, oh, all right, I'll be right back. Never saw her again. Another one, never saw her again.
I'm seeing a trend here.
So this guy comes in. He's an older gentleman. His name's Bob. He comes in and he goes, well, Alex, he goes, Jane, you know, she had to go do something, but I'm going to try and help you. And he goes, and I'm going to put it in. I said, Bob, I said, please do not give me. I said, just give me gas, please. He goes, well, you're a little too large for the gas. He said, it's going to take a lot of gas to put you under. So he goes, it's just going to be easier for me
That
just to
doesn't
do.
even make sense.
You know, I know, but that's the second person that said I was large. It's either somebody's telling the truth or I don't know. So then he takes my right arm. I mean, as quick as he can, he just looks and he goes, oh, that's a good. He goes, yep, you're done. And it was done. And he got it first try.
Yeah.
But I never saw Jane again.
Experience.
Yeah, I never saw. Well, Jane was 99%.
But she wasn't wrong, right? 99%. You were
Right.
the one.
The 1%.
Yeah.
I am always the 1%.
I see a trend here. Woman shows up, hits you hard, disappears. Person shows up, calls you overweight.
I know. It's like,
It's like something is happening.
I know. It's like they try and murder me, but then it doesn't work. So then they just call me fat. And
Call it
like, you know what? We can't kill you. You're fat. And then they just walk out and they never come back again.
So the first group that when you woke up, right, from this phantom lady, and you saw this group of people watching you, I think they were wondering, is he dead? You think he's just gonna roll over, or like they were waiting, and when you woke up, they're all like, whoa, find a reason. So when your mom walks in, they're like, he's fat. That's it.
I know they're like, fat.
That's the first thing that could come to them.
He's huge. But the funniest part was, like, I weigh more now than I did back then. Like, it's not like I was like a clump or anything like that.
I think
like,
it's in the medical journal, though. I think they have something written where if the vein pops wrong, the next step is call the patient fat. I think it must be. It must be there. Just go to the next appointment you get. You'll see.
I don't even want to go back. I can't even cope with. That's horrible.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get on to this next one here. So this one's from Joe. So let me take you back to 5th grade, the peak of my academic career and the moment I peaked as a person, really. I was selected for the school spelling bee. Why? Because my teacher thought I was a strong candidate. Translation, I was the only kid who spelled definitely right in my essay and didn't draw a sword fight in the margins. Now, you have to understand something. I took this way too seriously. I didn't treat it like a spelling bee. No, I treated it like it was a spelling Olympics. I studied every word on the Scripps National Spelling List. I had flashcards. I had a system. My mom quizzed me every night like she was training me for Jeopardy.
Okay.
But all the categories were just obscure words that start with Q. The spelling bee comes.
Only Q?
I show up in my best polo shirt and khakis, looking like a kid who sells real estate on the weekends.
Mm,
I'm ready. I'm confident. I walk in like I'm about to win the Pulitzer Prize.
go for it.
The first round, easy. Apple, please. I can spell it in my sleep with one eye closed. Second round, library, still too easy. At this point, I'm making direct eye contact with the judges. Like, come on, give me a challenge.
Yeah.
Throw in a silent K or something. Then comes round 3. The word is lasagna.
Ooh.
Now my brain short circuits. All I can think of is Garfield, you know? And I start to panic because Garfield loves lasagna,
True.
but he never spells it.
No.
I'm like, why didn't I watch the captions? I take a deep breath and I, with the complete confidence, Lazanya.
Sounds about right.
There's a pause. The judge squints at me and I just spelled it like it was ancient Klingon. I'm sorry. She says, that's incorrect. Incorrect? My confidence crumbles faster than a dollar store pencil. I sit down in shame, defeated by an Italian casserole. But here's the best part. My classmate Kevin, who spent the entire time picking his nose with the pencil, won the B. He spelled accommodate right, which is, to this day, I'm convinced was some sort of sorcery or glitch in the Matrix. He didn't even know he was in the spelling bee.
Kevin is his name?
Yeah.
All I can say is Kevin. All right, Kevin, you only have one job. Just learn this one word. That's it.
Accommodate.
Yep. And pick your nose.
You know what's interesting, though? Lasagna is a hard word.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
No, it doesn't. I mean, like Wednesday, the middle of the week, right? The word itself, Wednesday. You think about that. Why? There is words I think are just like some guy was thinking, how can I torture people many years from now? Let me put these letters that mean nothing and just go for it. Wednesday. Lasagna.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like lasagna. Let's put it out there. Delicious to eat, hard to spell.
It makes no sense at all, half those words.
No, it doesn't.
But it's like when people from different countries are trying to learn
Yeah.
the English language, you have there.
True.
Well, how are
Two.
how are they supposed to know?
Mm.
And like different words like plumber,
Mm.
you would never think that was like, if you spell plumber like that,
Yeah.
then you think of thumb.
Yeah.
And why would you spell things like that? You should just spell it.
But
Like-
Alex, a word like plumber in Africa, we call him a plumber.
A plumber.
Yes.
So you sound out every letter.
Every word, everything has to be plumber.
But-
Actually, we don't say the R at the end. It's a plumber.
Plumber.
Ah.
But everyone knows what you're talking about.
Everyone understands
Yes.
that. That's true.
But
Because
if we did that here, they'd be like, what?
who? What? No, take the B out.
But it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. The English language is a very complicated language.
Yes.
We have and this is no offense to anyone who has this, but I've said this before to someone, lisp.
Mm-hmm.
Which people suffer from that? People who cannot say what letter.
S.
And what is the term for their condition?
Lisp.
Why?
Yeah. I've
Tell
wondered
me that
too.
wasn't some mad scientist going like, let's do it. Give them a condition they can never tell the doctor about. Like,
I know, it's not really fair.
no, it's not. But that is English for you.
I have always had a slight lisp
Mhm.
my entire life. And it gets even worse. And this is the climate we live in. When it's freezing cold out and say I'm outside and my lips are so cold, it is so bad. Like, it's horrible.
How the cold
The
affects-
lisp comes out extremely like strong when I'm like outside in the cold. I don't know what it is.
So like in the middle of Christmas, you want to sing Silent Night.
Yes, it's so bad. Most days I don't notice it, but if I pay attention, it drives me insane.
Huh.
It's like anything. If you say something like we used to have a print shop.
Yeah.
And so I was very annoyed. I don't really care much now, but I was really annoyed when I would see things printed, especially if it was full color and it has like a white edge around it. So if the white edge was not the same on every single edge, it really annoyed me.
Yeah.
So it's the same with like a lisp, where if you have a lisp and every single time you talk,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my word. But then you can hear it in everybody else talking.
Yes.
So you can always recognize if everybody else
Most
has
of
a
the
lisp.
time I don't
True.
pay attention to it just because
You're just used to it.
I'm used to it and I talk all the time. So
I cannot say I've ever noticed you having a lisp.
a lot of people don't, but, or I'm assuming no one's ever said anything, but I don't think you really point out a lisp in
Lisp.
somebody.
Yeah.
But no, it's depending on
Mm,
the day. I like, now that we're talking about it,
yeah.
that's all I notice.
Really?
Yes.
I can too.
You can?
Yep.
Wow.
I can do a good lisp too.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow.
I
I-
can on command. I don't like to do it all the time, but
That's interesting. I mean, there is different conditions when it comes to speech issues, right? There is people who stutter
Mm-hmm.
when they talk.
And some kids, like my sister went through this.
Yeah.
She was learning something new in childhood, like when she was about 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And speech is what took the back burner at that point. So she started stuttering.
Mm,
And then after a little bit, it went back to normal. My mom doesn't know what the new thing was that she learned, but some kids just regress with
yeah.
different things that they've already mastered. So their brain's like, you've mastered this. Let's put this on the back burner while you learn this. And then,
Mm,
which is very, very interesting.
it is. And people who stutter are very good musicians because when they sing, they don't stutter.
that is
This sister plays multiple. She plays the piano. She plays the clarinet.
Wow.
Maybe that's all she plays.
I
What-
played
what do
the
you play?
trumpet.
Will you play the trumpet?
I did.
Oh, well, you don't.
I don't.
Okay.
That was a stint, trumpet stint done over. I want to learn how to play the piano
Yeah.
and the guitar. I
Ooh.
probably never will, but I
Yeah.
really want to.
Okay. I can clap.
Hey,
Same.
that's a great attribute.
Yeah, that's true. One-handed even.
Hey, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah. You never seen that?
no.
Oh,
Go ahead and show us.
For real?
Yeah.
You want to see that?
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Oh, guys, enjoy this. One-handed clapping.
Wow. My hands are.
I could do that while drinking coffee. Just to show
That-
you I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing.
I've
That's
got
pretty good.
part
It's
of
a
a
skill.
coffee
Thank
over
you.
there that I didn't.
I can
finish.
picture it. I can picture it. So we're gonna move on to the next segment that we have, which is new for this week.
Yeah.
And it's dad jokes. And I'm very happy about this because I love dad jokes.
They're the best.
So in the basket in front of you
Mm.
is a whole bunch of dad jokes. So can you grab, let's say 3 or 4
Okay.
each? Grab 3 or 4 each.
Ladies first.
Now there could be some duplicates in here.
Yeah.
But they're and obviously, I've let my print shop days go by because none of them are even the same size or anything. So
Oh yeah.
count.
I noticed that I have this very large
yes,
piece.
I just put a bunch on a sheet and then cut it out.
Mm. I
Some-
think I took too many here.
You have like
Yeah.
12,
I took everything.
and then if you can just pass me 4.
Okay. So you can have this.
Okay, I'll have.
Because I really worked hard to get those 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while Gil is grabbing his, Bethany, why don't you go ahead and start with yours?
My wife left me because of my obsession with pasta. I'm feeling cannelloni right now.
Okay, that took a second.
That I still haven't gotten it yet.
Kinda alone.
Ah,
Kind of lonely.
I get it now.
Kinda
I get it.
lonely.
I thought at first that was dumb, but I guess I was dumb.
Lonely. Okay.
Go ahead.
want
You'll
me to
just
do all
do all yours and
Yeah.
then
My daughter just shrieked at me, "Dad, you haven't listened to a word I've said, have you?" What an odd way to begin a conversation.
That's a dad thing.
oh, 100%. I do it all the time.
And I
The
think
girls will be talking and I'm like, "You never told me that."
Okay. Every single time, most times, 99% of the time,
Yep.
I will say that we have this going on or I'm doing this. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I told you a couple weeks ago. No, you didn't. We just had this conversation, last week? But I don't remember what it was about now, which is ironic.
Well,
But
it's like the girls had a concert last night.
True.
I totally forgot that there was a concert last night
Mm-hmm.
until Bethany texted me and said, "I'll pick you up at 6." And it was
Why?
4:30. And I go, "Why at 6 o'clock? That is so odd."
Yeah.
And then I looked and I'm like, "Oh crap. The girls have a concert at 6:30. Well, I can understand why it's at 6. I totally forgot about it.
Well,
I told you that morning.
It's a guy thing. Though.
I didn't even know you did that.
It's a guy thing, and I must apologize to my wife. Amanda and I and the kids were driving from Bangor, coming north. We're coming from Boston,
Oh, okay.
coming north, and we were driving. And I'd never said this to her, so I love you. But I was driving, and we were just talking back and forth, and I zoned out. And when I came to, me, the one driving, I zoned out. But when I came to, she had asked, "So what do you think?" And I had to make up stuff. I had to go "But what do you think?"
well,
And
what
I don't
do
know,
you think?
Yeah, what do you think? And I remember surviving that. So now I guess she knows. I'm sorry.
All right, keep going.
I have a great joke about nepotism, but I'll only tell it to my kids. I don't get
See,
that
I'm
one.
good with that. Nepotism is when you choose family over anyone else. You hire for your job,
Okay,
family
okay.
first. So
It's
I'll only
okay.
tell
It's
it.
a dad joke.
Okay. I'm not a dad.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Right off the cuff. Look at that.
Look at that. What do clouds wear?
I have no idea.
Thunderwear.
Oh, that was a good one. Thunderwear.
I was going to say rain pants. I don't know.
That would be a good one too.
I'm just saying. You good?
I'm good.
Okay, so here's mine. How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
I've heard this one.
You have?
Yeah.
I've never heard it, so
10 tickles.
that was a good one.
Okay, that's nice. That's what I should use sometime. I'm okay with
Hey,
that.
you can keep that piece of paper.
Oh,
that
thank
way
you. Oh.
when you're preaching on Sunday, be like,
Just look at it real quick.
We're going
Wait,
to have a quick
yeah.
dad joke segment this sermon.
Wake everyone up. Okay, want to hear a joke about paper?
Sure.
Never mind. It's terrible. Okay.
that one's
that's
progressively.
honest.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, I think I got 2 in this, so I'll put the
Oh.
one back. I haven't seen that one. Okay. How do you make a tissue dance?
I've heard this one too.
I have no idea.
You put a little boogie in it.
A little cookie. You should have kept the other one that you put in the basket.
Oh my. Okay. I have a joke about chemistry, but I don't think it will get a reaction.
These are so ridiculous. That's the one thing I love about dad jokes
Yeah.
is they're literally some of the dumbest things ever, but they're funny.
They are.
I
That's what makes you a dad, right?
that's true. I'm dumb and apparently overweight. What time did the man go to the dentist?
I don't know. What time?
2:30.
I wonder if dentists tell these jokes.
Probably.
Probably. What do you call it when a snowman throws a tantrum?
What?
A meltdown.
Well, that's true. That is true.
Not as good as the other one, but still pretty good. Why didn't the skeleton climb the mountain?
I don't know.
It didn't have the guts. That's so stupid. Oh, my word. Oh. What concert just costs 45 cents?
45 cents. I can't think of it, no.
50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
That's a good one.
It's a good one. I like that one.
That I think about the dentist one. I thought that was
hurting.
my favorite.
2:30.
Oh my word. I love dentists, but I think they need to take that joke and use it.
Oh, 100%. And then people would be in there and be like,
Yeah. Ease the pain.
Or like they're like half numb.
yeah. And
Or
they're
just with their mouth
and they got
open
water
trying
dribbling.
to laugh.
They got water dribbling out, and he's like, I knew that was a good one.
Dentists though, they wait. Like they're very quiet while you're talking to them, pre anything.
And they wait until like
Yeah.
their hand is in your mouth.
Like the whole hand is inside, like pulling your tongue out, and then he asks you, "So how's the weather?" You're thinking, "Why?"
Can't even talk right now.
And I was like, oh, that's great.
2:30.
Oh my- So this next segment is the humor libs. So I got quite a few submissions this week. Now I chose to do all the same story, but obviously different words. So I'll say the words first, and then I'll read the story.
Yeah.
So the words are fern, antique store owner, gurgle, Prius, mucky, blueberries, rejoiced, toenail, pizzazz, and Cheez-Its.
Wow.
She hates toenails.
I hate feet.
Ah, okay. Now we know. Now we know.
One time she said she had a foot fetish.
Okay.
She did
Because
not-
I was saying the wrong word.
We figured you probably meant something else.
Phobia.
She's like, I have the biggest foot fetish.
I said it for
And then
my,
people-
like as I was a child.
And people would look at her like,
no one corrected me until I was
I don't think anyone would have corrected you. You know, people would have looked at you and said, "Well, to each their own." I
I
guess.
was a child. Why didn't anybody say, "Oh, I think you mean phobia"?
How
No.
old were you?
Literally a child.
Well,
that's when she says a child, that could be a broad.
No.
why
I mean, that
wanted
could
to
be
know.
16 to 25.
I
So, I
think
mean, we have no
started
idea.
saying that when I was maybe the girl's age and then older until
so you'd probably heard the word somewhere.
And-
you just
until
thought,
she was
Probably.
until she was close to 30.
no, it was definitely early 20s when I learned the difference.
Which is still pretty sad.
Oh wait, you said it for over 8 years.
I
Yes.
said it for a very long time and nobody corrected me.
Well, why would they?
Everyone
If you
in
walked
town was
around and
like,
you'd be like,
guys, that's Bethany.
They're talking about feet, and you're like, oh, I got a big foot fetish. They'd be like,
I wouldn't say it like
oh,
that.
okay, all right, that is enough.
Yep.
All
I
right,
meant phobia this whole time.
that's still gross. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get back to this.
Makes sense.
So, do you remember the words I said?
Some
Yes.
of them, yes.
Do you want me to re-say them?
Oh, no, you're good.
Okay.
Make
Yeah.
it more of a surprise.
Okay. It all started when Fern, a renowned antique store owner, had heard a mysterious gurgle coming from the garage. Naturally, curiosity won, as it always does. And without thinking twice, Fern jumped into the family's rusty old Prius, wearing nothing but a mucky bathrobe and unmatched socks. As the vehicle rode down the driveway, it hit a pile of blueberries, swerved into a sprinkler, and somehow rejoiced through a hedge shaped like a dinosaur. With leaves in her toenail
Ew.
and a look of determination, Fern shouted, "Pizzazz!" at the top of their lungs, scaring both the mailman and a confused cat. Eventually, the vehicle came to a screeching halt right in front of the neighborhood convenience store. Fern burst inside, looked around dramatically, and declared, "I have arrived for the last bag of Cheez-Its." No one questioned it. Frankly, they were just impressed.
Fern sounds like a very eclectic store owner. Like the town, the whole town knows her.
Oh, the mailman, the cat, hearing her scream.
Like it just is
pizzazz.
a natural thing for Fern to do.
Well, it's, Fern's a renowned antique store owner. Everybody knows
Yeah.
Fern.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So the next set of words is Burton, fast food cook, clomp, dune buggy, bumpy, worms, high-tailed, armpit, onomatopoeia, and chupa chups.
Armpit? This will be good.
Oh, yes. It all started when Burton, a renowned fast food cook, heard a mysterious clomp coming from the garage. Naturally, curiosity won, as it always does. And without thinking twice, Burton jumped into the family's rusty old dune buggy, wearing nothing but a bumpy bathrobe and unmatched socks.
Oh, boy.
As the vehicle rolled down the driveway, it hit a pile of worms, swirled into a sprinkler, and somehow hightailed through a hedge shaped like a dinosaur. With leaves in her armpit and a look of determination, Burton shouted, "Onomatopoeia!" at the top of his lungs, scaring both the mailman and a confused cat. Eventually, the vehicle came to a screeching halt right in front of the neighborhood convenience store. Burton burst inside and looked around dramatically and declared, "I have arrived for the last bag of chupa chups." No one questioned it. Frankly, they were just impressed. So, I'll
Don't read us the next words. Just read the story.
Okay.
Oh, and we can try to find out what the words are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
It all started when Raleigh, a renowned TV repairman, heard a mysterious howl coming from the garage. Naturally, curiosity won, as it always does, and without thinking twice, Raleigh jumped into the family's rusty old Yugo, wearing nothing but a stinky bathrobe and unmatched socks. As the vehicle rolled down the driveway, it hit a pile of orangutans, swerved into a sprinkler, and somehow leaped through a hedge
Oh, that's
like a dinosaur. With leaves in their armpit and a look of determination, Raleigh shouted, "Hullabaloo!" at the top of their lungs, scaring both the mailman and a confused cat. Eventually, the vehicle came to a screeching halt in front of the neighborhood convenience store. Raleigh burst inside, looking around dramatically, and declared, "I have arrived for the last bag of bugles." No one questioned it. Frankly, they were just impressed. And then there's one last one. It all started when Elmer, a renowned potter, heard a mysterious screech coming from the garage. Naturally, curiosity won, as it always does. And without thinking twice, Elmer jumped into the family's rusty old Jeep, wearing nothing but a painful bathrobe and unmatched socks.
Painful.
Painful. As the vehicle rolled down the driveway, it hit a pile of moose, swerved into a sprinkler, and somehow hiked through a hedge shaped like a dinosaur. With leaves in their elbow and a look of determination, Elmer shouted, "Kraken!" at the top of its lungs, scaring both the mailman and a confused cat. Eventually, the vehicle came to a screeching halt in front of the neighborhood convenience store. Elmer burst inside, looking around dramatically, and declared, "I have arrived for the last bag of ice cream." No one questioned it. Frankly, they were just impressed.
What would be worse, hitting a pile of orangutans
I was
or
gonna
hitting a
say.
pile of moose?
It's very dark, but yet weirdly satisfying to hear.
I feel if you hit a pile of blueberries, you would survive.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
If you hit a
And
pile of
worms.
worms, you'd definitely survive.
yeah.
If you hit even if you hit one orangutan,
You're
there's
going to be
damage being
injured.
done.
But you survive.
One moose,
Oh, yeah.
you would survive, but
Maybe.
maybe.
It depends on how fast you're going. through the
Exactly.
moose, but
But if you had a whole pile of orangutans,
yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
they'll hit you back.
Yeah,
they'll
they'll just open the door.
They'll attack you.
Yeah,
they'll get in.
yeah. Thank you so much for being with us today. That will end it for today.
This was
And
fun.
thank you everybody for listening. And we look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. Thanks so much for spending part of your day with us. If something we shared reminded you of a funny or hilarious moment, we'd love to hear about it. Head over to our website, humorinthehousehold.com, to submit your funny story. And if this podcast brought you a laugh or made you feel a little less alone in the madness, please consider subscribing, leaving a review, or sharing with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.